Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with Mix It Up Monday, and this time I decided to do a double page spread, and this is a page kit that I put away together 3 years ago in October 2012, and I'm going through the whole whack of page kits that I had put together and I'm using them up. So a lot of stuff I'm not quite sure where they're from, like all those pattern papers. I believe maybe it was Stampin' Up, but I'm not sure. There's no branding strip. But I think that was probably like a pack of pattern papers that were all like autumn or whatever. And then there's some Echo Park playground letters, which I don't end up using. I am going to use that Bella Boulevard polka dot, which I just absolutely love. I think when I originally had chosen, because usually the side of the paper that I choose is the side that is side up in the kit. And so it was the apples that were facing up. So I'm kind of thinking that's what I had in mind at first, but I like the dark brown with the polka dot a whole lot better right now. And I'm using a Scrapbook Generation sketch, and I printed it out and I just put it with this page when I put it away. So even 3 years later, I already know what I was thinking when I was, looked at this page. I had printed a picture 5x7, so I'm going to use it here. There's a 5x7, 6x4, and 4x4 on one side, then two vertical 4x6 on the other. And it looks like banners, and on one side you don't see the banner, the end, but then on the other side you see the banner end. So I'm just going through and I'm just deciding which pattern paper is going to be which strip, and I'm at the bottom it has the measurements, and it even says like left page strip from bottom, all 12 inches, an inch and a quarter, 3/4, and so on and so forth. And then it's right page banners, and then even the journaling block, which I don't end up putting in, and then your background panel, and it says accent strips. Oh, that's for the hearts, which I don't end up doing it. And so that's a lot of fun when if you haven't been scrapbooking for a long time, or you're just in a kind of a lull or a funk, and you're just like, oh, I don't know what to do, just grab a sketch and just go with it. I have to say, before I started doing YouTube channels, that's basically what I did, was use sketches. And then when I started my YouTube channel, I was like, okay, well, I gotta come up with my own stuff, kind of thing. So I kind of just wing it now and do the pages. But back then I was just kind of, scrapbooking. I mean, I still scrapbook for the fun of it, but you know what I mean. And so I just would, whenever I went to crops, and I mainly scrapped when I went to crops too. I didn't scrap too much when I was at home. Not as much. I found ever since I started doing YouTube, I mean, scrapbooking was a big part of my life before that. But maybe I scrapped, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what. I was more in my craft room staring at stuff than I was actually doing stuff. So I probably did a page a week, but it took me a week to make it, because I would come in and shuffle things around for a long time and then walk away, and then come in another day and shuffle some more around, and not too much was getting done. So ever since I started doing YouTube, I found that putting the camera on, it was like, okay, well, you got to commit. You got to, you don't want 2-hour videos of nothing. So I found it has sped up my scrapbooking a whole lot more. And the first year I did videos, I don't know if I counted how many pages I did. It was over 100. Then the next year was over 200 pages. I think it was 220 or 240. And then last year I did 180. And Janet asked me if I made my quota of 180, because on my YouTube channel it says 162 of 180. But I did a class, and the class had 18 pages. So, I mean, I did the 180 right on the dot of how many pages I did last year. I also did 28 weeks of Project Life, and some of them are double spread, and I had my goal for Project Life was 24 pages last year, so I did more than I thought I would then too. And I wanted to do December daily, and my December daily is completed. I can't believe it. It's, you know, very, very beginning of January, and my December daily is completely done. And although I love doing December daily, absolutely love it, um, I'm so happy to going back to scrapping regular pages. I think it's that way, right? Like by the time I get to December daily, I can't wait to do it because I want to do something different. And then once I've done that for a month, then I'm like, okay, I'm ready for my regular scrapbooks. So while I was chatting, I just cut all the strips, and I'm kind of deciding on the order. And I'm going to take one of them is just a plain cardstock, and I'm going to put it at the top and the bottom of the strips. And then I also took one of the pattern papers is sort of a vertical lines, and I put two of those too, just to kind of bring some similarity in the strips. And now I'm gluing them down, leaving about 1/8 of an inch in between each of the strips. And I could have cut some of the strips down because a big block of that is going to be covered from some other pattern papers, but I decided to just go ahead and glue it down and not worry about that. And this layout ended up taking me an hour and a half, and I don't know why, because I mean, basically all the dimensions are there for you, but for some reason, like I said, I hadn't scrapbooked in regular scrapbooking in. I did a couple of layouts in the month of December. I'm sure if you're a regular, you've noticed that my YouTube channel, I think I was uploading one video a week for the entire month of December. I just had to take a little break, I guess. Well, I got sick for a good part, and then when I started feeling better, then we were in the thick of things for December. So then I kind of fell behind, and then I just decided to just upload one video a week for December. But now January is back, and I'm hoping to get back in the swing of things. And usually for Mix It Up Mondays, it's usually pocket page, like Project Life spread. But like I said, I did so many pages. I just needed to do a good, wholesome 12 by 12 page, and then I just grabbed this page kit, and I just went with it. Now these pictures are quite old. They were 2012, and every year we go to the apple orchard and take some family pictures. And that year, I had told my mom about it, and she lives 2 hours away, and they made the trip. And actually, they came again this year, I believe. Yes, this year they came again, and we took some family pictures. And then my husband's mom also came, so they had both grandmas there, and so we got some cool pictures with the grandmas, and so that was a lot of fun. The only one that was missing from this this page is my oldest daughter. She wasn't there. She wasn't able to make it. I believe that's the one. She said she was gonna come, and then she ended up with a migraine, and she didn't end up coming. So she's the only one missing from these pictures. And so anyway, I blew up one of the pictures 5 by 7, and I'm mounting everything on cream because I wanted to stick out, because a lot of the pattern papers are fall colors, which is perfect because this was taken in the fall. And as you can tell, we're all we're not as bad now, but back then we would call each other. And well, they all lived with us at the time, but even my oldest had called and she said, "So what color are we wearing this year?" And that was kind of funny because we did that. So that year we decided to all wear brown. And but you can tell, like, whoever is not part of my immediate family, so his mother is wearing blue and pink, and my mother's wearing pink, and Katie's boyfriend at the time is wearing red, and my mom's husband is wearing red. But it's okay. It's just when we took family pictures of the core family, we were all wearing black. And I guess we still do that because this year my daughter called and said, "So what color are we wearing?" And I said, the difference is I said, it doesn't matter, whatever. I'm not as particular as I used to be. It's like, you know what, we're getting the pictures. That's what matters at this point, not what colors we're wearing. And so now I finished the left side of the page. Now I'm working on the right side, and I'm fishtailing all the strips, and I'm inking the edges with my Hero Arts brown color. I think it's called dark brown. And I'm using my Tim Holtz tool. And this there doesn't have too many embellishments. I'm just going to use the embellishments that I had pulled for this page. I had a few sticker sheets, so I'm going to use the sticker sheets. And then I had some leaves, and they're from Studio Calico, and you can mist them and change the color. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my ink pad, but so I tried to use exactly what I had put aside for this kit. Sometimes I tried to bring in some new stuff, like some new trendy stuff, and put it with the old stuff. But this time around, I found I had enough that I was able to sort of still kind of do my style that is now with I tend to embellish a lot when I do the clusters. But one thing I did notice is when I do double page spread, they're not as embellished as my one pagers. And you would think, where you have more place to add stuff that you would embellish more. But I tend to, or I've noticed that I don't embellish as much. I still do, the 3 or 5 clusters, whatever number of clusters that I decide to do, but the clusters don't seem to be as full. And maybe it's because it is spread over two pages and it doesn't seem as full, right? And that big pattern, or that big cutout of pattern paper, I cut off about 1.25 inches, and I put on the right side of the page, and then the rest is on the left side. And now I'm already ready to glue down the photos, again leaving about 1/8 of an inch in between all the photos. And now I'm working on the right side and realized I didn't mount those photos, so I'm going to get another sheet of vanilla, and that's vanilla from Stampin' Up. And I still have quite a bit of 8.5 by 11 that I need to sort of use up and use them as mats, I guess. I used to do cards, like card making, and yeah, I don't make cards anymore. I just found that I didn't send them out. And then about, I'd say 2 or 3 years ago, I went through them and I had so many cards, and I just got rid of all of them. It was just like, I'm not using them. They're just taking up room in my scrap room. And so I just got rid of a whole bunch of them. And now I just don't do cards. I just rather spend my energy on scrapbook pages. Now I'm going to use those stickers that I had put aside, and I can't remember what they're called, but they're nice and glittery and green. And I wrote out family, and again, back then what I did was I would take a recipe card and I would do my journaling on the recipe card and stick it with my page kit. So when I got to the crop, I didn't have to think of my journaling, and I also would put my title on there. So as I was putting these page kits together, your brain kind of gets into making these page kits, and I found that putting color combination becomes faster, and then titles comes up quicker in my head too. So then I would also put that on my recipe card and then include the journaling. So then when I'm sitting at the crop, it's like I don't have to think. My journaling's already done, and my title is already chosen. And even a lot of times what I would do is if I looked at a sticker sheet and I liked a specific sticker, I would put an arrow pointing to the sticker. I wouldn't take it off, but I would take a pen and put an arrow and point it towards the sticker to remind me that when I was putting this page kit together, that's the sticker that made me choose that sticker sheet, if that makes any sense. So now I'm going through the sticker sheet, picking out a couple. There's one that said field notes. I cut it in half. I put the top half at the top of the page where the title is, and then the other one I put next to that pattern paper, and that's where I'm going to do that other cluster. And this is the leaves that I was talking about that you can mist. They're from Studio Calico, super, super old. They were put with this, like I said, page kit 3 years ago. I have a bunch of those, every different shapes that you can imagine. I need to dig into my stash even more. So I'm going to keep definitely Scrap Your Stash Saturdays for 2016. And I'm going to be digging into my stash a little bit more. I might revamp my YouTube, like the days and stuff. I'll see. Yeah, I'll see if I'll keep it the same or maybe tweak it a little bit. I'm finding 4 days a week is quite a bit. So I might bring it down to 3. We will see. We'll go for a little bit here and see how I can keep up there. And then we'll see if we'll switch it. But for the beginning of the year, we'll keep it the same. And the Mix It Up Monday, I might change it a bit. My project life this year, I'm still going to finish 2014 or 2015. I have all the pictures for it and everything. The end of the year, it's probably going to be just a monthly thing, not a weekly thing. And that's how I'm going to do my 2016. I'm just going to do a monthly thing. So I'm going to do a double page spread for January. And I should have, if I would have stuck with that last year, I would have gotten it done in time. But I did enjoy doing it. And then I wanted to do more. And, when you do so many other things, you gotta tweak it to your schedule, I guess, and tweak it to what you can get done. So that's what I'm going to do. So now I'm taking these jewels from Bo Bunny, and these are super old too. They were in the kit that I had put aside. I thought maybe if I could put a little string of those jewels, but I just decided to use the single ones. I'm going to play with it for a bit, but there was nowhere that I could put it that I really liked it. So I'm going to put it back on the packaging. And then I'm just going to use the single ones. And there's some jewel ones, and then there's some pearly ones, and I'm going to use a little bit of both. And then I had my journaling, which I don't really have a spot for it. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take I couldn't find the right brown marker, so I just did a little bit of journaling. But once I find my good brown marker, I'm just going to put it on the bottom strip, and I'm just going to put my journaling there and take my time and write it down. But before I put it away, I'm going to put it down. I just couldn't find the right brown marker. And I wanted all the little flags, I guess, or tails to be kind of popped up. So I'm taking some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I'm putting it to the tails. And I wasn't going to take off the backing to it, but I didn't like the way it sat. I'd rather it be sticking down. And I like the little lift that it gives it. And then back then I used a lot of twine, and I would do the loop-de-loo thing that I call. And so I'm going to bring that back, and I'm going to put it in 3 areas of the layout, and I'm going to put 3 loop-de-loos, and then just put some glue to glue it down. And then I'm going to take some distress stain in the ground espresso, and I had never even opened it up yet, so it's nice to be able to open some stuff up and just, you know, get it used up. And I guess I didn't use it up, but at least get it open. But it's funny because this page wasn't super complicated at all. You can tell here I'm looking, but it still took me quite a bit of time. You can tell I'm looking at my journaling, and I'm going, okay, where am I going to put this? I got no space. Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to do my journaling on some of that vanilla cardstock into strips, and then I'll put the strips right next to that, the bottom circles. I'm just going to put it right next to that, and I'll put my journaling there. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And instead of putting it on the brown cardstock, because then it'll look like it, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. Instead of that journaling block that I was supposed to put in, I'll just put journaling strips. And I'm going to put some splatters to the layout, and that's it. So to see some close-ups, join me on my blog, NicoleJones911.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.